Okay, we're joined by James Willstrop, currently the world number 3 in squash, but only 2 days ago you were world number 1. That's what happens when you turn your back for a second.
Yes. Well, yeah, gone to number 3 in the world, which is no disgrace. But yeah, Ramy Ashour won the world title last month and took the world number 1 position with it. So I have to work very hard.
You're saying that with a smile on your face, but it's a bit of a gritted teeth sort of smile. You're not doing cartwheels over this.
No, clearly not. But that's the way it is. That's the way sport works, and there are lots of ups and downs, and sometimes things don't always go how you want them to go. So it's a good challenge to try and get back to that number 1 spot.
Well, you mentioned the current world number 1. He's from Egypt, and there's quite a few very, very fine Egyptians coming through, aren't there? But there's quite a few decent Brits as well, aren't there?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I think it's quite level at the moment. A lot of people talk about the Egyptians, and they probably talk about them because they're flair players. They're very exciting to watch, very entertaining, which is quite right. But I think the English players are similarly strong in terms of ranking. I think we've got possibly 4 or 5 players in the top 15 in the world, which is some record. So, and that's in the men's and women's game. So, yes, the Egyptians are strong, but the English are very strong too.
Well, I mentioned Britain, you've mentioned English. Let's be even more specific. God's County, the People's Republic of Yorkshire, very well represented, aren't they? Yourself and Nick Matthews, great rivalry. Yep. You've both been world number 1 many times, British number 1, won lots of titles. You guys are still very much up there, aren't you?
Yes, well, we're 2 and 3 in the world. It doesn't get an awful lot better. We've been at number 1 and 2 for the best part of the last year. So we've had a good time of it recently. There's a lot of people working hard to clip at our heels. That's the way squash is at the moment. Great strength and depth. So we're very pleased, but we know we've got to keep on our toes and be ready to improve again.
Now, the World Championships were in December, and of course we're here now in London, first week of the new year, another massive tournament, the World Series. Did you have any time off? Did you have to really behave? Could you consume any alcohol? Could you go crazy on Christmas Day?
Well, you know, I think it's probably a time where you need to let go a little bit. It's not because it's Christmas, but because we've had a constant run of events from August, September time. So just to mentally just come off the boil a little bit is probably a sensible thing. We knew we were playing today, 2nd of January, so you can't completely let go. It's really only instead of a 1 kilogram bar of chocolate, it's only 100 grams per day. So
okay.
It's just having a little bit of enjoyment, but just not going overboard really. And I think ticking over with a bit of training as well. It goes without saying, as a squash player you can't let loose for too long. You have to keep in great shape.
Now, being a Leeds boy, great city of sport obviously, and during the unforgettable summer of 2012, never mind Britain, never mind England, never mind Yorkshire, Leeds itself excelled at the Olympics. The likes of Nicola Adams, of course, the Brownlee brothers, Lizzie Armistead. Obviously squash wasn't at the Olympics, it is at the Commonwealth Games. When you watch the Olympics, was it wonderful? Was it brilliant to watch? Were you inspired? Was it frustrating? What were your sort of emotions?
A bit of all of those things, I have to say. I loved watching the great sport when there was some great sport and some fantastic victories for sportsmen and women in this country. I thought it was very good to see these low-profile sports getting attention, and these low-profile sportsmen and women getting attention, which is how it should be. And that's not how it is in this country. We do not, until the Olympics comes about, we don't really give credit to low-profile sportsmen and women. So Very pleased about that, but at the same time I'm very frustrated because I was sat there as the #1 player in the world at the prime of my squash career with the home Olympics happening. That's hard to take, knowing that you're a genuine sport. Squash is a genuine sport and it has traditions, and many people feel it should be in the Olympic programme. So very disappointing in many ways. But
I mean, it's reasonable to say. I'll say even if you're world #1, you'd be expecting at least a medal, wouldn't you? If you've been able to have competed in London.
I mean, it's difficult to say you expect anything because the squash is too hard. There are too many good players. The depth in squash is absolutely outstanding right now. Expect really isn't the word.
So on any given day.
Use, but we were stood there, Nick and I, world #1 and 2. Laura Massaro was, I think, 2 in the world at the time. Was certainly the English girls were in the top 5. So we're looking at that, and if you take it off the ranking list, yes, we would have medals.
Yeah.
No one's saying that would have happened, definitely, but we had a great chance to do so.
But the campaign continues, does it not? And are you hopeful that in the very near future squash will be an Olympic sport?
The campaign does continue. I don't know really how to answer the other question. I don't think I'm in a position to answer it. I don't know how much of a chance we've got, and I don't know whether the IOC are going to admit the sport to the Olympics, because it's up to the IOC, and I can't expect and I can't presume anything for them in terms of them.
But it's a strong argument. Look at the sports that are in there.
Yeah, I mean, people from the public eye come in and say to me, "Why on earth is squash not an Olympic sport?" It's one of the only racket sports that isn't in there.
Sure.
And, like I say, it's this perfect Olympic sport that's tough and it's endurance based, it's skill based. It has every facet you need in a sport. So it's completely confusing for us that we haven't got the nod. I'm very hopeful. I think if this bid, we've put more into this than ever, this is the one I hope that can do it, really.
On the plus side, less than 2 years now. I mean, 18 months away. You've got a home, as in Glasgow, Commonwealth Games. So, I mean, that's something that I'm sure you're really pumped up for.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, well, it's home in terms of geographical. I don't know whether the Scots would like the English calling it home.
Well, you're going to be British for those games.
Yeah, well,
my man, you'll be representing England, won't you?
England, so I don't think we'll get the home advantage there, but very excited about that, and it's great that it's geographically close, because it means you get a bit more support, more English people, more friends might be able to come and watch, which is a wonderful thing. When it was in Delhi, it's quite difficult for that, really. But, very exciting. The Commonwealth, it's been a fantastic experience. I've had some great experience at the Commonwealth Games. I'm very excited to go to another one, so I've just got to try and get in the team.
And we were talking about the rankings and everybody going up and down like snakes and ladders all the time. I mean, it wasn't that long ago when, some of the very, very, very great squash players of all time, as they were, but they did dominate the sport for so long. It wasn't massively competitive because, Jahangir or Jansher or Jonah or Jeff Hunt, whoever it was, just dominated. So is squash in a good health in terms of that, in that there are so many guys challenging for number one who can beat each other, I guess, on any given day?
Yeah, I mean, I think in any sport you learn more, you get to know more about training methods. There is so much now involved in being a squash player. No stone is unturned. We have physios and nutritionists and psychologists behind us, and every single player in the world is beginning to learn more and more about what they need to do to be as professional as they can. And I think that's why we're seeing what we're seeing now, this very, very strong tour, very strong, as strong as it's ever been in my time. And players are getting better, they're learning more, they know more, they're more switched on, they're training better, they're training cleverer. So you're getting some very competitive matches.
All right, James. Well, listen, best of luck here in London. Best of luck for the year. Hope you regain your world number one, and obviously Glasgow's just around the corner. So much to look forward to, and you never know, might make the Olympics still in your time, which will be nice.
We hope, very much hope.
All right, cheers.